Welcome to the Afterburn podcast. My name is Joe Alvarado. This is episode 8 with my friend Spencer O'Toole. Spencer is a dynamic indoor cycling instructor who teaches at the Lifetime and Centennial where I work, and you're going to love his stories. You're going to love his passion. You're going to love this episode. Let's get into this. Spencer O'Toole. Sure. What's up, man? What's up? Hey, welcome to the pod, man. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I told you about me wanting to start a podcast a while back.
Yes, sir.
And I've recorded like 6 or 7 of these already.
All right.
You're the second in-person pod and the second male that I've had on the pod. So thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. We worked together. I met you. Is it going to be how long ago has it been?
A year, 3-4 months now.
Yeah, a little over a year, right? Yeah. So you're from New York. You came to Lifetime. Tell us a little bit about you coming from there. Just a little bit about yourself, man. We're gonna talk cycle too. We're gonna talk all about it.
Yeah, from White Plains, New York. Got into cycling probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
After a bad ski accident that kind of damaged my knee, and slowly got into it because of rehab.
Okay.
And then developed a passion and love for it.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough to have a mentor, a lady who I went to religiously on Saturdays and Sundays, eventually reach out and say, you need to start teaching.
Okay.
For the first maybe year, I was hesitant. I was kind of beating around the bush, trying to avoid it because I knew how nerve-wracking and how just out of my comfort zone it was.
Yeah.
Maybe get on a stage and perform the way she performed.
For sure.
And eventually took that leap. And that story is funny in itself because I really...
Tell us about it, man.
Yeah, so the lady, my mentor, Rachel, she was nagging me to give it a shot.
Okay.
And I'd play around with it. Her and I would be in a studio alone. We'd have fun, play a few songs, whatnot. But I was still hesitant to do it.
Yeah.
And the club the Lifetime that I worked out at and then ended up working at, I knew a lot of the members.
Okay.
So knowing so much of the members, it kind of made me nervous to enter that new space.
Yes.
And then so I was hesitant.
Okay.
But people started to know that I was so interested in it that they almost started thinking that I was a teacher.
Okay.
Childhood best friend of mine.
Yeah.
Him and his family, they build apartment buildings in New York City and Manhattan and whatnot. He ends up coming up to me and saying, we're building a new building.
Okay.
And we want cycle to be one of the amenities.
Okay.
And I was in a weird spot in my life where I was just trying to say yes to everything. Let me just get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Stop saying no to so much and see what this new yes thing brings.
All right. I think we've all been there at certain times in our lives, right? We play the yes game. We're like, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. You've ever done it? No.
Right. So he ends up saying, we're going to do this. I just want you to come over and check out the studio that we plan on making, the cycle studio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for sure. A week later goes by. I go over and he's like, I just want you to give me an idea of what I should do with the lighting.
Wow. So he was asking you all the aesthetic questions and that's fun.
And I thought it was just for ideas.
Yeah.
And to be thrown back and forth.
Sure.
So next thing you know, I'm with him in this brand new cycle studio, and he goes, yeah, so we're about ready to start. We're going to start next week. And I'm like, what? Who's
we? We is too many people.
Right. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm ready for it. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, there's no way. What's going on?
Yeah, what is he talking about?
Yeah, I practiced a few times.
Yeah.
But I haven't performed.
Sure.
It was so nerve-wracking, but it was almost too late to back out.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for him. It's almost like he knew it was out of my comfort zone, but he was pushing me to do something outside of my comfort zone.
But he saw something in you too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe.
Yeah.
When someone sees something in me that I don't see.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. And it's hard for me to like grasp it and believe them believing in me.
Yeah.
So
haven't we all had that moment though, like growing up, or, you know, like somebody discovers or sees like a talent in us that we just like, I never saw that, or I never thought that would be me. Right.
absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it is a funny thing. Like,
I feel like God puts people in our lives like that, you know, or whatever, you know, that pushes us or sees something in us that we don't see. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves doing something on a bike now. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It's insane how it all works. So we ended up figuring out, or we're going to do it twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And in the beginning, it was just a few people, but those few people continued to come.
Okay.
And we're building this little community. There were only 15 bikes in this little studio.
Okay. All right.
But I kid you not, by like week 10, the energy was insane. Like, I was afraid that, you know, tenants were going to start complaining about the noise in the basement.
Nice.
But because of him, he gave me that opportunity, and it allowed me to build confidence.
Okay.
It got me comfortable with all those trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm.
And in that little small group setting, if I messed up, it wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
Where I remember sitting on the bike at Lifetime and just seeing 50 bikes and being like, oh, if these are packed, and I mess up, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I remember just practicing with Rachel.
Yeah.
And I would stop every 2 minutes.
Okay.
If I just didn't like one tiny thing that I was doing, or if I didn't say what I wanted to say at that exact moment.
Yeah.
And I'd say, no, pause. And she'd be like, Spencer, can't do this in real life. Like, in class, you got to keep going.
Yeah. You got to keep going. Yeah.
So with that in mind, I ended up pushing through the adversity. And developed confidence.
Yeah.
And then once Rachel found out that I was teaching at this apartment building, she goes, you got no excuse now, dude.
Yeah.
And it was
coming for you.
Yeah. And it was actually perfect timing, because her and this lady, Jamie, who kind of like ran the studio department.
Sure.
At that location.
Okay. And this is Lifetime you're talking about now.
Okay. They were transitioning out. Rachel was going to go be a studio lead in Brooklyn. Jamie, who was the studio lead, was moving down to Georgia.
Okay.
And they were basically like, hey, you got to fill our spots. Like, you know, these guys know you.
No pressure, right?
Right. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, and I wish everyone could see these two perform, because it's bananas. It's just a party.
Yeah.
Like, there were classes that were only supposed to be 50 minutes that would end up going 2 hours because people just didn't want to.
Dude, that reminds me of old school church. Church didn't end, right?
It was so insane how, like, that's exactly what it was. People, like, you couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a lot, because it was a lot for me to consume, because high expectation.
Sure.
You know, big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, it didn't work out as pictured or as planned.
Sure.
New studio leader came in, a lot of moving pieces to the puzzle, and I ended up getting 1 day a week, and I was happy with that.
Sure.
But the mountains came calling.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, you know, keep hitting decline.
Heck yeah.
So,
and now you're in Colorado. Yeah. Now you're in Centennial.
Yeah.
Well, let me back up real quick, because you said a few things that are like so valuable for people to understand, and at least in my opinion.
Sure.
You said one thing, and it reminded me of the interview I had with my very first episode, Rachel Cole, another Rachel, right? And she had gotten hurt, and so she was at a place where her body wouldn't let her run, wouldn't let her do certain things. So it was rehab. It was a bike,
right?
And that was where she fell in love with bikes. So it's kind of the same story.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. You know, a lot of rehabilitation will be on a bike. You know, so that's a big deal, man. That you found that through, you know, having rehab, all that. But you said something else that's I don't want to let just slip by, because it's really important. You said that
the time that you had at the little boutique in the apartment building or whatever with 15 bikes allowed you to build confidence because you had opportunity to make mistakes. You had opportunity to find your way, to find your style, to figure out how to connect with people, all of the above. And by the way, if you're watching this, if you've ever seen the type of indoor cycling classes where they're kind of moving and going back and forth like that's this man right here. That's this man. That's the type. We call it AMP. You see this a lot. And like, if you think of Soul Cycle and things like that, this is what this man delivers. Now, here's why I think what you said is super important. And I don't want to lose this.
Okay.
Great comedians always go to smaller venues to flush out what they're thinking about for their future jokes and their future specials.
Right.
So if you ever listen to Joe Rogan or you ever listen to Dave Chappelle, what they'll do, and especially Dave Chappelle, he'll show up out of nowhere. He'll come to a city. It's so cool. I don't know if you've heard this before. He'll come to a city and he'll obviously he's famous. He'll go talk to the owner. They'll be like, "Oh my God, Dave's here." And they'll say, "Hey, will you let me do a set?" And the audience gets amazing. Like, they didn't even pay for Dave, and he's right there with like 50, 100 people, right up and close. But what he's doing is he's practicing and airing out future jokes for a special.
Understood.
Right? Yeah. And so sometimes they don't land, sometimes they do. And these are the times where he's really just thinking through some of his jokes.
Right.
And he's like, well, he's saying his whole thing, and he fine tunes them. He gets them to really land the timing, or this just doesn't work, or the delivery. I got to work on the delivery, right? That's what you were doing, man. Yeah. That's what makes a great indoor cycling instructor, right? That was your training ground. Yeah. What do you think about that, man? Did you ever think about it that way?
I haven't thought about it like that,
yeah.
But I'm extremely grateful for it.
Yeah.
I'm extremely grateful for my friend Tyler to push me out of my comfort zone, give me that space to make mistakes and just go through those kinks.
To go from 15 bikes to 50.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. And it's all, it's one because of the other.
Yeah.
And it just stacks on top of each other. Yeah. And it's nice to especially after the other week, when that was the first time that any class of mine was ever packed.
Yeah.
And to see not a bike empty and to remember 2-3 people showing up the first week to be like,
yeah,
all right, I'll go try this new amenity. Yeah, I'll go. And then it was so funny because people didn't even know where it was.
Well, and let me give some context for people who are listening. Sure. So what Spencer's talking about is, again, he came on about a year ago, and AMP has just not been a thing at our location. We've tried different instructors, different times, different, all of the above. And when you came, if you remember, you're like, I teach AMP. I met you on a tour. You were touring around with the ops manager,
right?
And you were getting hired for the assistant role. And he came and you met me, and you're like, I teach in New York. I'm like, dang, this guy's from New York, right? He's got the accent, right? He's got the look. In New York, there's a lot of actors and performers, so I feel like he's gonna be amazing, right? Yeah. And so you come on, but you had a big hill to climb, not because you didn't have the talent, but because we just didn't have the culture there.
Right.
So I have to thank you for building a culture that did not exist, and that is not easy to do. That is not easy to do because we didn't have people who understood what it meant to have movement on a bike.
Right.
And I want to tell you this because, and I've told you this before, but I need to tell you again because it's great for everyone to know this. When I first saw you teach, it reminded me of when I go, and again, I told you this before, but when you go to a live concert, right?
Yeah.
And you're listening to a band play, and maybe you like the drums, maybe you like the guitar, maybe whatever, instrument, just pick your instrument that you like, right? I like drums, I like percussion. And there's nothing like going to a concert, especially when it's your band, right? Favorite band or whatever. You see it not only live, but you see the drummer just,
all right.
Oh, and you just see the passion, and you're like, you enjoy it even more because he enjoys what he's doing, right? And even if the song sucked or even if the song, like you just like enjoy somebody being passionate about what they do. And that's what I was reminded of when I saw you. I was like, this guy is just like great to even watch. I'm enjoying the class just because he enjoys it. He's enjoying it more than anybody in the class, you know? And so I think, you know, when it comes to like identifying talent and seeing something in us that we don't see, I'm pretty sure that's what your friend saw. Something that you just lose yourself in it. And it really does take that type of performer. And by the way, we call ourselves performers. Here, I'm gonna give everybody a little secret here. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
When you go to a class, you're gonna call us an instructor. You're gonna say, where's the instructor? Where's the coach? And that's fine. That's what we're known as, right?
Right.
But internally, when we talk to team members, I'm like, Spencer, you're the performer, bro. You're on stage, right? We call each other performers, and but outwardly we're known as the instructor or the coach.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So you're a performer, man.
No, that's probably one of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's hard for me to accept that, but there is truth to it. You know, like it's just a place where I feel I can be myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about any of the problems, any of the chaos that society is, you know, everything just goes out the window. Everything is, it's just me, the bike, and whoever's in those four walls. And yeah, that means a lot.
Well, what's special about that? What's special about what you just said is not only does that happen for you, but you create it for everybody else in that room. So you're saying, you know, internally, man, I'm just cutting loose. I'm just being myself. I'm forgetting everything. But you're also saying, hey, if you're here today, I want, and I have some clips I'm going to show them during this. If you're here today, I want you to just have fun. And you're like throwing your arms around, and I want you to just let loose. I want you to be yourself. I'm not judging you. And you're just going crazy, crazy, crazy. And people love that, man. And they love seeing you. They love seeing your freedom. They love you. We'll talk music here in a minute. But they love the fact that you're giving them permission to just smile, to forget about the fact that their kids are crying in the kids club downstairs, or they might be going through a hard time, might be going through a separation, a divorce, a death, some kind of relational issue, some kind of stress at work, some kind of finance. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right? And you're one of those people that help us just beam into another planet, if you will. And it's special, and I mean that with all my heart. It's super special what you create in that room.
Yeah. Shoot, like, you know, it's cool to know or to be told that that's the impact that I provide.
Yeah,
because you know we all struggle. We all have, you know, demons or doubts about ourselves, and you know, like every day we're all just trying to do our best and put one foot in front of the other. And sometimes you get caught up thinking that it's not enough, or, you know, you take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Right.
But to hear that, it makes me realize and check myself and say, yo, you're doing a good job. You're on the right path.
You are.
You know, you're going forward. It might not be as fast as you like to go.
Yeah.
But you're going in that direction, which is all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm convinced that if there was a bike heaven, okay?
Yeah.
If there was a cycling heaven, right? Let's just pretend like the cycling heaven existed.
Right.
That you would see a lot of people the day you went to cycling heaven that you impacted that you never knew. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because here's think about that, and here's why I say this, because one of the things, and I know it's kind of funny to say it that way or whatever. Everybody kind of knows I'm a pastor. I love a guy, so I'm gonna have like these church type of illustrations, right? So bike heaven exists, and you get to bike heaven, and you see like 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, doesn't even matter, and they're in bike heaven because of Spencer, right? And they're like, Spencer, I didn't get to tell you this when I was in your class, but those weeks that I was there, I was dealing with this, and you helped me get through it. I was dealing with this, you helped me fight past it. You helped me forget it for a moment. Right. And I'm convinced, and if you've been following the podcast, you've heard me say this a lot, that we're never going to know the amount of impact that we have. We're just never going to know, because not everybody tells us. Right. Not everybody tells us, hey, you helped me through this. You made me smile today. You got me through this. But in Bike Heaven, there's going to be a lot of people that they're going to be like, Spencer's here, I'm here because you're here, So, but honestly, man, that's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. Yeah.
That's a cool way to look at it.
It's fun, right? It's fun. Music is a huge part of that particular, it's a huge part of every group fitness class. Right. It's a huge part of what I do. It's a huge part of any, any type of category of group fitness, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's especially meaningful for an AMP class, for a soul cycle class, if you will, for a party on a bike type of class. Talk to me a little bit about your thought process about, the music you choose, to how you use it, and to what that means. Because everybody loves your music, man. If they love it, and I love it. It's great. It's great. And I'll I'll say the thing that you said during class. I'll say that later, but
okay. Yeah, I would say, so I teach once a week.
Yeah.
And I would say each playlist is based off of the mood of that week, and not just like my mood.
Okay.
But the mood that I'm feeling around me.
Okay.
And first song, warm up.
Yeah.
Gotta be uplifting.
Okay.
Gotta have some fire under it.
Yeah.
Whether it be with the lyrics or a buildup of the beat. But I'm a big lyric guy.
Okay.
Coming from New York,
Yeah.
Lyrics are everything.
It's gotta say something. It's gotta mean something, right?
And it doesn't have to be the perfect vocabulary either.
Sure.
But I just want the message to be impactful. I want it to mean something. I want to feel it when the artist says it.
Okay.
So song number one,
love it.
Gotta just I'll tell people middle of song, get out of the saddle.
Yeah.
But I want them itching to get out of the saddle. I don't want them feeling confined. I want them to unleash it without me even saying, let's get up.
Yeah, yeah.
First song, gotta have that feeling to it. And then the second song gotta be the loudest party song I can think of for a 10:30 class.
Okay.
And then after that, it really just becomes like a roller coaster of whether it be adding resistance, taking away resistance, but kind of allowing people to cycle and eventually feel their emotions come out.
Wow.
And then hopefully by like the fifth, sixth song, I can throw on something heavy and kind of not always shut the lights off.
Sure.
But let people soak in their emotions and not necessarily cry if you need to.
Sure.
But feel what you got to feel.
Okay.
And then right after that song, back to the party.
Yeah.
We got 20 minutes to empty this gas tank. Like, we all rolled out of bed.
Yeah.
In Colorado, if you don't know, it's sunny 310 days of the year. So there's no excuse really to go inside.
Right.
You're like,
the sun's always out.
Yeah. It's like, even when on my days off, I'm looking outside and I just want to be lazy.
Yeah.
And the sun's out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do this to myself.
Yeah.
So, you come inside, you roll out of bed, whether it be cold or warm, and you choose to show up.
Yeah.
So now with these last 25 minutes, we're giving it everything we got.
Yeah.
And like I say in class, all I care about is you walking out of here proud of yourself.
I like it.
So for that,
so good.
The first 25 minutes, it's more fun.
Yeah.
Joy. Like, let's get as loud as we can. Let's scream and shout and sing whatever song, whatever lyrics we know and whatnot. But then the last 25, I still want you to have fun.
Yeah.
But I also want you to run through that finish line, whether you see it or not.
Let's go.
And when you do see it, you're not, okay, time to jog towards that thing. I'm doing good. Like if you thought about it as a marathon.
Yeah.
Home stretch. you look at your clock, you're like, oh, I'm making great time.
Yeah.
I can kind of coast through and I'll be happy the way I finish. It's like, no, we're trying to get 1% better, just a tiny bit better. And we're running through that finish line.
Yeah.
And there hopefully is no gas left in that tank by the time you reach it.
I like it. I like it. If you're listening to this, I can't imagine a planet where you wouldn't want to try a class right now. Because the way you're describing it, it's like this big emotional roller coaster, right? Full of ups and downs and smiles and frowns, and that rhymed, by the way. That was pretty good. But, and it was so like the way you describe it though, like that's so amazing, man. And then so here, answer this, and I think I mean I have my opinion on it as far as music goes, because again, you pick some great music, and it's distinct. It's distinct because if you go to my class, you go to your class, you're going to hear good music in both, especially mine. I mean, hello. Oh, just kidding. But you go to your class and there's just a different, I don't even want to call it a genre. It's just a different vibe that is necessary to accomplish what you want to accomplish in that class. Now, do you think, and my opinion is that it's something you feel, it's something that you just know when you know. Is it that you just know that this is the right song, or is there like a formula to it? Is there like a formula that somebody could learn? I feel like you just have it in you. You just kind of know. But what do you think?
Yeah, to each his own, right?
Yeah.
But no formula over here.
Okay. So it's all filling, but you just know, oh, that's the right song right there.
Yeah.
You play it, you're like, boom, there it is.
And a lot of it happens Saturday morning.
Okay.
Where I'll make a playlist throughout the week. So class will end Saturday at 11:30.
Yeah.
And then from that moment until Saturday at 5:30, next Saturday at 5:30 when I wake up,
yeah,
I'm building a playlist. And sometimes I'm just adding songs I'm listening to working out.
Yeah.
And I'm just throwing them in, unorganized.
Yeah.
But then there's some Saturdays where I just wake up and I go,
yeah, this isn't it. This isn't it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take some from the playlist that I originally created or whatever.
Yeah.
And the people that I see on the list have a little something to do with it too.
Okay.
If I see someone that I haven't seen in a while, they're getting a song I know they like.
That's so cool, man.
And yeah, it
is
is
so cool.
And I guess I really try and make class a metaphor to life.
Okay.
Ups, downs, turns, flips.
Yeah.
Going backwards, forwards. It's, we're all like on our own roller coaster.
Sure.
That nobody else will ever ride.
Yeah.
But in class, you're almost allowed to feel like, yeah, we're all on our own roller coaster, but we're all on a roller coaster. So we have that in common.
Okay.
And
now you're preaching.
It's so crazy what it does to me because, I look out and I see people looking at me.
Yeah.
And they're, whether it be the beginning of class, end of class, middle of class, whether they're smiling or they're dripping sweat or whatever the case is, I can sense that I'm helping them in a way.
Sure.
But they have no idea how much they're helping me.
Yeah.
Because, we're not perfect.
So there's a mutual exchange there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like we need each other.
Yeah.
As much as you need me, I need you the same.
Yeah. And I've heard you say that in class. I've heard you really say, hey, I want you to do this. I want you, by the way, you're giving me something back. You're doing something for me that you don't realize. Like I've heard you say that in so many words, exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah. It's insane what a stationary bike can do.
Yeah, it is. That goes nowhere, right? It goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about their miles. And I had one of the episodes with Emily Booth. She's our national lifetime instructor. Go check out that episode if you haven't. And she's like, there's so many people worried about, how far they get, and the bike went nowhere. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. It was funny, but no, I love that. And I think, to kind of close that part of music. I mean, we can talk as much as you want about it, but to your point earlier when you were saying, here's my playlist, you've been putting it together all week, and they could all be great songs, but there's something inside of the instructor that says, but not song number 3. Like, that's great. Like, that's Justin Timberlake, but it's just not right for today. Right. Or that's whoever, pick your favorite artist, but it's just not right for today. And it's something that I think only other instructors can identify with, right? Yeah. You're just like, because if you were to show that playlist to just anybody, they'd be like, man, can't wait to do that class.
Right.
There's something in it that whether it be the person that's coming, whether it be the mood that you want to create, whether it just be the vibe that you aren't feeling in that moment.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. He's just like, gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Right. I love that, man.
It's like I'll have a awesome rap song that I can't wait to unleash.
Yeah.
And then I kind of want to have a party song right after it.
I'm laughing because I want to tell that other story here. I don't want to forget. Don't let me forget to tell that story. Yeah. Okay. So I'm in his class, and this is a few weeks ago, packed out, right? Everybody and their mom is there, literally, right? Yeah. And I had just got done with surgery. And so many of you know that I had knee surgery, and so I couldn't come up out of the saddle a lot, which is required. So I'm just like smiling, having fun, doing my best in the saddle. And this guy's going to town right here. And a song comes on, and he goes, hey, I just want you to know. And I'm thinking this is going to be another motivational thing. There's a clean version to this song, but I'm not playing it today. That was so good. And he goes, I'm glad Joe's not here. And you were totally having fun with it because everybody knew I was in the room. Right. By the way, like, I'm the studio leader there, and we work together. And anyway, that was good, man. That was so good. Oh my God.
So like, as I'm saying to Joe, I'm like,
it was so good.
I can't see you.
Yeah.
And then I never got your reaction. Like, I never panned back to you to share, like, if you were like, we got to talk after this.
Yeah. No, like, you were allowed. No, well, here's the thing. And here's why I love even this part of that conversation about music. Music, not only does it create the environment, create the community, create the feel, kind of all of the above, what you want, what you don't, but it also is an extension of your personality. I'll repreach it now. Here's what I mean by that. There are some people who can get away with songs that have cursing in it and nobody is offended because they kind of know the person's personality, right?
Yeah.
If I were to do that, I'm telling you right now, everybody would be like, is Joe okay? Is he going through something? Is something wrong? Yeah. Because they know, I'm going to give you a good class. It's going to be great music. You're going to find some personal, maybe hit some records that you haven't hit and whatever, right? You're going to reach some goals. But for the most, it's always clean like that, and I'm really convicted by that because it's my personality, 100%. Right? But I go to a Spencer's class, I go to Kim's class, right? And I kind of know that's just kind of part of there. It would be like if Joe Rogan never cussed, we'd be like, right, what's wrong with Joe, right? Because you're not really offended because it's just like comes out of them. And again, I'm not advocating for foul language. Please don't hear me wrong. Don't chew us up in the comments. No, I got this chair in the way. I just realized that there's like a chair in the middle of the pod, man. We'll get this out of the way. Okay. What is going on with that chair?
No,
but you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's music is an extension of your personality. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, what a way to express your personality.
Yeah. I mean, so if Spencer plays that song, he makes a joke out of it, nobody's offended, including myself. I'm just having fun. I'm like, this dude's too much. This is hilarious. This is fun, and we keep moving on. It's as big of a deal as you make it too.
Right.
So I think, when it comes to, and I think anybody who's taken a group fitness class, right? You might know the gritty instructor, right?
Right.
You might know the soft-hearted instructor. You may know the educational instructor, the commending instructor. There's like these different personality types, right? And nobody's offended, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Unless you don't know the person, right? You're brand new, you're a little conservative, you walk into a class, you may be like, why are they, why didn't they say the S word or whatever?
Sure.
But for the most part, it's kind of an extension of who you are, right? And one of the things that resonates with people is being authentic.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there was an instructor in Brooklyn who would take his shirt off mid-class. Now, the people in the room, they loved it.
Okay.
That's just not me.
Yeah. Even though you got abs, it's still, you'll be all right. It's just not, you wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah, well, it just wouldn't flow. Like it would be unnatural.
Okay.
So like it would almost be unnatural.
Yeah.
For you and your personality type to throw curse words in.
It would totally be. I would turn red. I would be embarrassed, and I would feel like so uncomfortable. Yeah. It's like when Kim goes on the subwoofer and likes to dance during class. Right. She tells me the other day, "I'm gonna get you to do that one day." I'm like, "No, that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna get on a speaker and dance in the middle of my class. It's just not me, right? It's just But I love this conversation because it's an extension of who we are, man.
And then the beautiful thing about you don't say it much, but it's your team. At Lifetime is we have such a unique and diverse group, whether it be in cycle, whether it be in yoga, whether it be group fitness classes, studio classes that like Kim barbell strength and all these things where the members can find something for them.
Yeah.
And that's special.
Yeah.
So, I've run into the person that comes into class, maybe isn't for curse words, and after class tells me, hey, I really didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
You could have, whatever the case is, it wasn't their thing.
Right.
They didn't need to hear it.
Yeah.
They're going to find a class that's something they don't have to worry about.
Right. Right.
Where they're not kind of left out to dry.
Yeah.
They're not kind of like, oh, well, I like this class, plays curse words, and I really can't find another.
Right.
With your culture, with the culture that you built, you're going to find a class that you enjoy, that you're going to continue to want to go to wake up at 5:30 in the morning or to show up at 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
You're going to find it. And then you're going to, before you know it, it's going to be a part of your routine because you're going to find what you want.
Yeah.
You're going to find some class that's going to bring out this want to be better, and you're going to keep showing up for you.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I think we're very fortunate with all the talent that we have there at our club. I mean, it's to me, it's unreal, and I feel like I serve you guys. Like all I want to do is be your supporter, coach you up, and not saying I know what you need to do, but in other words, like get you motivated, tell you, give you words of encouragement, whatever. It's pretty special what we have. Yeah. It's pretty special. Yeah.
I've never been a part of anything like it and then it's so cool. Everybody on the team supports each other.
Yeah.
Has each other's back.
Yeah.
Like to shout out Trixie.
Yeah. I got to get her on the top.
We teach the same class.
Yeah.
She'll tell people after her class, don't forget to go check out Spencer. Like,
yeah,
you don't see that everywhere.
Right.
Like I've been to places where it's like, don't go to that person's class. Just stick to mine.
Right.
Like, you don't want to even give that.
Yeah.
And you just don't have that culture at Lifetime Centennial.
Yeah.
Everybody's just pushing, encouraging. Even, you just see it across the board.
Yeah.
The yoga instructors will say, Spencer, we're going to take your class.
Yeah.
And you'll see the cycle instructors go take yoga. And it's just this beautiful thing. And the only result you get from that is up, 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 up.
Yeah.
You know, because you have a solid foundation.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You need more
Classes.
recognition. No,
Good.
just for like, even the fact that me coming in, not having him, taking a shot, not knowing if it was going to work, but probably, and it wouldn't be to your fault either, giving it a shot, knowing it might not work or probably won't work.
Yeah.
And then giving me about a year and 2 months to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, what other field in America would somebody say, yeah, I'm going to give you an opportunity, but I'm going to give you a year and a few months to figure it out. Like, that's, and I'm grateful
Sure.
to it and for you for that.
Yeah.
Because, there were a lot of times in my head where I was starting to doubt myself.
Yeah.
And then it's tricky because if you don't know, I'm an assistant to the operations.
Mm-hmm.
And
we love you.
as nitty and gritty as it, we're cleaning toilets, we're picking up after people.
Sure.
It can weigh you down, and then it can, doubt would creep in.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am wearing this uniform where everybody knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm scrubbing toilets. I'm looking up at members while I'm in a shower, whatever the case is. And it was hard for me to like reach out and say, hey, come try my class.
Yeah.
Because they're like, dude, you're pulling trash. Why would I want you? And that's me just in my own head.
Yeah.
Nobody ever said that.
Yeah. And nobody's ever thinking that either.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But here you are, your own worst enemy.
Sure.
And I'm almost like afraid to put myself out there to bring people in.
Yeah.
But it took time.
Yeah.
And then now I have no problem doing it.
Yeah.
I'll bother anybody that walks through the door. And I don't care what age, male, female, none of it matters.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Hey.
Well, I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. And that's part of why, obviously you have the talent, the passion, all of that, the stage presence. But you had to build it. And part of you building what happened a few weeks ago and what's going to continue to just thrive is you just being on the ground and working it, man, working it, inviting people, being that presence, being that person that people are like, you know what, I am going to go try your class,
Yeah.
And that's amazing, man. I really appreciate you taking some time out to come and talk with me and to be on the pod. This one, I hope this one gets a lot of listens because it's so good. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and these I didn't prepare you for this, but I just want your answer. Okay,
Yeah.
Your answer for it. And this is kind of you can consider this like a lightning round. You can consider this like just the first thing that comes to your mind. All right. All right. So what unique thing do you do daily that sets you up for success?
I sit in the hot tub after every workout, and for about 5-10 minutes, I remind myself of everything I'm grateful for.
Love it. Love it.
And it could be the silliest things in the world.
Yeah.
Like it could be, you could be a rock bottom. You could feel like you're a rock bottom.
Okay.
Like, so let's say I feel a rock bottom. I just don't feel good. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed, traffic on my way to work, whatever. What am I grateful for? The shorts I have on.
Yeah.
The hot tub I'm sitting in.
There you go.
And then it just expands into this, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like infinite.
Yeah.
We focus so much on what we don't have.
Yeah.
Or what we want that we don't have yet.
Yeah. Not too long ago, Andrew Schultz, the comedian, he was on the PBD podcast, the Patrick Bet-David podcast, and they had it on a Sunday. And Patrick Bet-David, he's, self-proclaimed Christian. And he says, hey, since you pulled me away from church, Andrew, on a Sunday, I want you to pray to start this podcast. It was totally unexpected. And Andrew, he believes in God, but not, he's finding his way, right, to where he lands. And so he prays. He's like, dear Father, I'm grateful. And of course, he says a few jokes, but in the middle of that prayer, he's like, this prayer thing is cool. He goes, this gratitude stuff really works, So I love it. It just reminded me of that. because what you said. So let me ask you another question. And I know we're already like into March of 2024, crazy, right? If you want to make 2024 better than 2023, what's one thing you need to do?
Could I say hold myself more accountable?
Okay. You could say whatever you want. No wrong answer.
So I could probably be more disciplined.
Okay.
With what I know I need to do.
Okay.
Alarm hits 5:30. It's real easy to hit snooze a few times.
Yeah.
But I know from error.
Sure.
Is that...
Don't we know a lot from error? A lot of this, right? Yeah.
Which is, I guess, the good part about error.
There you go.
I'm one that needs to learn the hard way, I guess.
Yeah.
So, when you hit snooze a few times and end up getting to the place that you wanted to get to a little later than intended.
Yeah.
It tends to throw things off. Now you're behind, or at least I am.
Okay.
I'm playing catch up.
Okay.
So I could just hold myself accountable.
Yeah. Be a little more disciplined in that one area.
Because then, boom.
Okay.
I'm hoping.
What's the best piece of advice that you like to give people? Like your go-to. Somebody needs encouragement. Somebody needs advice. What's something you like to tell people? What's your phrase?
You're exactly where you need to be.
All right. I like it, man.
But it's for some greater purpose you can't comprehend.
Bro, that's so good, man.
Yeah.
That's so good. Thank you so much for being on the pod, man. I'm going to put the link to your Instagram and any other place that you're on social media for people to follow you. And I'm going to put some more clips on my Instagram every time I go to your class, man.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening. This was the Afterburn podcast with my friend Spencer.
Thank you.
All right.